What's going on, people? All right. So I was just speaking to Ben and Gus just before we hit record, and today we are talking about AI and kind of shares a little bit of my love, not my love, but basically I've been doing AI for I don't know, probably close to a year now, I'd say, but I didn't start doing anything with it properly until late last year. And late last year, I decided to open up an agency, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So today is just about AI for like the everyday entrepreneur, for the everyday person. And it is today we're just going to talk about like practical ways AI can help you as a normal person, just to help you scale faster if it's a business, or even just to help you friggin' use it kind of thing. So yeah, I will get into it as soon as I find my slide, which is over here. So why listen to me about this AI stuff? Who am I and what is it that I do, or how can I contribute? With me currently, I have my own AI agency, and that was basically established end of October, beginning of November, so pretty new. But that AI agency came about because I was learning AI within different communities, some paid, some free. And one of the paid communities, sorry, approached me and asked me to kind of help out with the weekly recordings that they do and stuff. And what that quickly made me become was like a thought leader within that paid community, which is pretty cool. So every Friday at 5 p.m. I do a weekly call with paid members of that AI community who are there to start up their own AI agency. And I talk to them about how to start, where to start, what tools to use, and where to focus on, some sales, some marketing, all of that sort of stuff. And I'm not there as I'm there as a thought leader, but I'm not there as like the one that's made it. I'm there as a student, literally who I am, like as a student who is maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of like the guys that I'm talking to. So everyone in the community, the community's attracted like an older group of people, which is kind of weird. So they're like the older person who I guess are more established within their niche, but aren't very tech savvy, and they've obviously seen what AI is and want more of it, or want to learn more of it, and that's where they are. In terms of my AI agency, the projects that I've completed for companies, I've done a fully functioning voice agent for a removals company. And what that is so now that voice agent is the first port of call for the removals company. So as soon as you call the 0208 number, it goes to my AI agency, and you need to hear an AI agent to believe it, if you haven't yet. But it will take any details that you ask it, it will stay on course, and it will also create a quote depending on the use case, or depending on if you want it to. It can also book calendar meetings if you want it to do that, give you prices. It can take payments, but that's super difficult because of all the legislation around it. Yeah, so voice AI is like kind of my bag at the moment, but only inbound calls, because outbound is like another ball of kettle of fish, rather. The other thing that I have done is there is a martial arts school that I go to, or that I haven't been for a couple of weeks. And when I went in, there was like no onboarding. What I mean by that is I came in and I had no idea what to do. Like I was there and I was in my shorts and some like baggy top thing. Everyone else was in their gi. I didn't bring a water, so I was super freaking knackered. And none of this was told to me, like to bring a bottle of water, you can buy your gi here, you can pay here. I didn't know where to pay. And so I spoke to the owner and I was just like, hey, can I demo this thing for you? And what it is just a QR code, either for one person to check in or one person to sign up. And that's what I've done a demo for him, and it basically it ended up being 2 QR codes, one where the person just registers, and then that way the owner knows that that person signed in, and that means he can keep like so what he used to do was just do it by eye. So if he sees someone coming in, he'll be like, okay, that person, and that person's going to owe me money. But no payment was ever collected during any of the sessions that I was in. So yeah, so now he has a way of like now he has a way of finding out who's been in and out of those lessons, but also has a way of tracking the people that have come in, like me. So what happens now is that when I click that QR code as being the first person or my first time, it just sends me an email with all of the stuff, like this is who they are and this is where I buy the ghee and I need to bring water and blah blah blah. So that was pretty cool. And the other, I guess, notable job that I've done is I created like a whole social media automation process for this events company that are doing a jazz event over in Berkshire or something, but that's like next year. So they're actively now using, like, I guess, my social media automation to get paid ads and get people to buy their tickets. But yeah, so that's a little bit about like me and the AI agency and why I guess I'm kind of cool to talk about this stuff. I wanted to quickly talk about AI and how it works, because I don't think a lot of people know how it works. In its simplest form, it's basically this this system that mimics human intelligence, and it's designed to perform tasks like, I don't know, language processing or decision making or problem solving, but not like Google. So it won't just pick up a website, it will actually give you an answer. The weird thing is, or the funny, I don't think people know exactly how it works. It's almost, because it almost seems like alien like because it's so lifelike, but all it actually does is that it's got millions or billions of sets of data, whether it's videos or books or podcasts, whatever it is, and it just takes the first word and like uses probability to find out what the next word is, and it keeps on doing that until the whole sentence is basically figured out, and then it's got the whole sentence that's probably, that probably works in terms of the AI's algorithm or the AI's probability. Well, why I'm saying that is because it doesn't actually think, it doesn't actually know what you're saying. If you ask it a question like, what are easy side hustles I can start, all it will do, it will say what, and then figure out like all of the different combinations of what, and then R, all of the different combinations of R, then pick out keywords like side hustles and get all of that pieces, like bits of data that it understands, and then puts that all in a sentence, then reads that whole sentence out and says, okay, based on that whole sentence, the responses that I've seen are like this, and then we'll create a sentence based off its data. So the kind of cool thing about that is that we know it doesn't think. The reason why I'm telling, or I'm explaining that to you, is because there's still, it's not like it's going to take over, because there is still a human person behind it that needs to tell you how it works and kind of guide it through its processes. But as we're evolving and AI is evolving, it's getting cleverer and cleverer, which is the scary part. But right now, the good thing about it is that it doesn't require, like, it doesn't actually have feelings, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The next thing is kind of, I guess, just when people talk about the AI stuff, this is how I picture it. And I've seen this, this is my slide, but this has just been taken from other people's shorts, essentially. Back in the day, in the 19th century, when the light bulb first came out, people feared it. People thought that the devil was going to be inside it. So not everyone jumped onto it. They saw it and they were like, oh my gosh, this big light bulb, but no, there's something bad inside it. I'm not going to adopt it. I am just going to use my candle with my little torchy thing to wipe it out or whatever it is. And I'm just going to have that and I'm going to use that. Obviously, that was the 19th century. Fast forward to today, we can't live without a light bulb, literally, especially now when it's like 7 o'clock and it's super dark. And then there was the tractor. So in the early 20th century, the tractor came out and it wiped out something like 92% of farmer jobs. So almost every farmer didn't have a job because this tractor came out and done all of the farming, etc., etc. And obviously that was a huge shift, and a lot of farmers lost their jobs. But what it did do is that it also gave a lot more opportunities for farmers or farming to scale, because now they could do it a lot faster. So with this example, there's like two sides. There's like, do you want to be on that side where you're the farmer who didn't want to learn how to drive the tractor, or do you want to be the driver of the tractor who can now scale his farming business, I guess? And then obviously, well, not obviously, but we get to more our sort of era, and we've got like the internet boom. When the internet happened, I don't know if you guys remember, but for the internet for me was kind of like, what the hell is this thing? Like this thing can actually go across the world and talk to other people. Like that this feeling for me happened really quickly, or that this moment was like super quick. Because the next thing you know, everyone's on like MySpace, or everyone's on whatever the socials are, friggin' MSN Messenger or whatever it is. Is it MSN? I can't remember. But yeah, so what happened with the internet boom though is that website developers came out and were like, oh my days, we can do these wicked websites. No one knows how to do them because we know how to code, and we're going to charge stupid amounts of money to do it. And that is exactly what happened. They charge stupid amounts of money. And then you fast forward to now, the whole thing is super like to get a basic website, like 90% of people who have small businesses who want a website will do it themselves, and do it themselves easy. Like they'll do it easy. All they'll do is buy a Wix website and a domain, and then friggin' drag and drop stuff. But yeah, so if you think about the point of that is that the internet boom, super crazy. Everyone was just like, oh my gosh, the internet. And then people that jumped on it were like, I can make money off this by doing websites that no one knows how to do yet. And then there was like Uber, the taxi boom. If anyone, I was working in London at the time, and literally outside where I was working, all of the taxis blocked the road. There must have been like a couple hundred of taxis. They blocked the working roads, and they just got out of the cabs and were just chatting to other people. It was super weird and super cool, I guess. But obviously back then, if you remember the headlines, like black cabs were super pissed. They were just like, well, it took me X amount of years to learn the cabbie license. I don't even know what you call it. And then now you're giving it to someone who has a sat nav. Like, how is that? How does that work? And like, I get, at the time I was with the cabbies. I was like, yeah, that's out of order. How can you just give it to someone when they've done all of this work? But if you think about, I guess, business or life in general, if something is easier, you do that easier thing because then you have more space to do the other things. And now that's kind of where I'm at with life, or with that stuff, and even with AI. And this is where we come to like AI, and where all of that kind of intertwines into right now. If we take the tractor, or the internet, or the black cabs, for example, like with the tractor, you could either make that choice of being one, the tractor, or two, the farmer. I'd rather be the tractor, or the person who learns how to use the tractor, or AI in this case. Same with the internet. Like you could either be like use the internet, or learn how to create the websites and charge a stupid amount at the moment, because there isn't really a standard. Same with AI. That's where I am with AI. And same with black cabs, like because you're given a sat nav back then, and then you could become an Uber driver. With how easy AI is to learn, it's kind of the same thing. You don't need to learn coding. You just need to know how to talk. Like if you can explain something to a 5-year-old, you can do AI. That is because that is how you're coding. And you know, if there is any interest in showing you, I'm happy to show whoever like how to create something from AI, because it's super simple and it is free and crazy once you see it, because you'll be like, that can't be real. But yeah, so yeah, that is the thing with AI, and that's where I stand with it, and that's why I opened the agency, and that's why I decided to go all in terms of learning how to do it, and learning how to scale it, and how to sell it. Crazy thing is, and this is just my take, but I actually firmly believe this, in the near future, I'm thinking like our lifetime, I think every first level support will be AI. So every call that you make initially, every, I don't know, call to order a Chinese, every call to order a cab, every call for a builder, for a plumber, it's all going to be AI. Because why would you not have someone working for you 24 hours a day, who doesn't sleep, who isn't going to be late, who's not going to complain, who's not going to get angry if a customer's angry. None of these things are going to happen. And the AI level of conversation that the AI can have is like crazy. It is exactly what you'd want. At this moment, there is still massive room for improvement, but it's still good enough for you to have a general casual conversation. And that will also, it will also, when I mean first level support, I also mean like your secretaries and your virtual assistant roles. Anyone that has to book an appointment or do admin, all of that stuff is going to go away because AI can do all of it. AI can do all of it now. It's just a harder process to get right now, to get it tweaked. But what's currently happening is that every time someone builds a new tool, it gets better and better. And so as people are evolving with AI, AI is also evolving. Also, like the driven decision making, like AI is going to do. So what happens at the moment is that we have experts. I don't know, we have like a marketing expert that will turn around and be like, hey, you know, in my 10 years experience, this should be done like this. Where if you have AI driven decision making behind that, you've got this person's 10 years experience, but you've also got the millions and billions of data that has been backing this AI driven decision. It's a person saying, hey Jaden, it's like the person, basically AI is just going to help that decision making process, and what it's going to mean for that decision is that it's going to be far more informed than it would have ever been if it was just a normal person with 10 years experience doing it. Also, like the customer experience is going to change. We're probably going to turn into almost like robots, because we are going to realize that the first people that we're speaking to are AI, and we are just going to almost, because we know they're a robot, we're not going to have conversations anymore. So this isn't a good thing, by the way. I don't think. What's going to happen is that we're going to talk to them, you know, almost like when you speak to a call center that's abroad and you're a bit like, I just need to ask you the question, so I will ask it very plainly and not make any conversation and all of that sort of stuff. I think it could almost turn into something like that, because we know we're not talking to someone real initially, so we're just like, yep, get me through to the quickest person or give me the quickest answer as quickly as possible. And lastly, like, and I think this is a wicked thing, is that you have AI as your support base. So if you're a professional, you could be a friggin' lawyer or a personal finance coach or anything, and you could have AI support your decision. Or at least if you don't really know what you're, let's say you're a plumber, say Ben, you're doing something and you're not sure of the answer, or you know the answer, you know how to fix something, but you're not sure how to say it to a customer who doesn't really know about plumbing. You could stick that into AI and ask it to dumb it down almost so that someone else will understand it, and it will, you know, spit out the answer for you. For me, before all of this AI stuff, I was a personal finance coach or whatever. So I was helping people with their personal finances. And when I was taught to do this, I was given a framework of what to do. So each lesson is like, you do this and you have to say this and you have to speak like this to get this basic answer. In the real world though, when you're speaking to real people with real decisions, it never goes down like that. You can't shape a lesson like that when they're going through something different within their life. But so now whenever I have these calls, I use AI or ChatGPT with like the background of a finance coach, and I basically give them the situation, and from that it tailors a lesson plan and a call to action and a goal at the end of it. So it may sound like I'm cheating, but what it's done, because I still have to do the talking, the skill in coaching isn't the lesson plan. The skill in the coaching is the conversation and the questions you ask and the goals that you're able to get the person to like come to. And what is great about the AI stuff is that now I don't have to think about any of that. Oh, the lesson plan needs to be like this and it needs to be laid out like that. I can just focus on getting that outcome of asking the right questions and getting hopefully the right answers. Yeah, that was a lot of talking.
That's all good. Informative.
Yeah, I think I hope so. Like, I don't know how boring or how interesting that is, but this is, I guess, my take on it and where I am and why I'm here in terms of this AI world. So for you or for the person who doesn't really use, say, AI or ChatGPT or whatever, how do you use it or what can you do with it? I think if you wanted to get into the world of AI, if it was like a thing for you that you wanted to learn, especially if this presentation shows you anything that, you know, later on in the future, I firmly believe it's gonna like take over. I'm hoping it's not gonna be friggin' Terminator way, but it will eventually take over. So I guess in my view, it's like, do you join the club and learn how to use it now so that you know how to effectively use it properly later? Or do you kind of shy away from it and think, okay, you know, like it will happen and then blow over like some other boom or bubble? Mm.
For me personally, I haven't fully integrated it yet, as far as I know, because I use it in the gimmick way. More when I want to show someone like what it's capable of. It's very much like a gimmick tool.
Yeah.
And that's mainly because it's not my go-to for thinking.
Mm.
And I understand, like, I spoke to someone last night actually when I was at a shoot, and he was working and he sort of pulled his earphones out and he said to me, "Oh, can I ask, do you use like AI at all, Chat GPT, for anything?" And I said, "No." I said, "Because I forget to use it. I haven't implemented it yet because I'll rather not struggle through the process, but I'll rather think through it because I
Yeah.
can connect dots in my own head, which I don't think the computer can yet.
Yeah.
And I also don't know if it's going to get to the same place or solution that I will because of life experience. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, but then
Yeah.
it will also give me other ideas and stuff like that, and which I haven't thought of. I've never, not never, but I just struggle to remember to use it, I guess is the best way to put it.
That's, I
I
think
do
that's,
see how it is.
I don't think that's a bad thing. And there is like a line. I think if you use it for everything, you are literally probably going to turn stupid. Not you, but
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
But I also think that AI gives you the opportunity to never procrastinate. There should never be a point now where you have to think about something for a space of time and you
Mm,
can't think of the answer. Because even if ChatGPT doesn't give you the right answer, it will give you an answer. So if you're writing a book, or I guess in your case, let's say you run out of content ideas,
mm,
if you were to give your situation, it will spit out ideas. They may not be the right ideas, or they may not be
yeah,
great, or you may have used them before, but they will give you
yeah,
something to be like, okay, I can move forward from this. And I've never had a
yeah.
situation where I've had a conversation. Sounds really sad now, but saying it like this, I've never had a situation where I've had a conversation with ChatGPT that didn't help me. Like it didn't
Mm,
get me past the next stage. Like it might have blocked it to a certain point, but if I was stuck on a piece of content or doing something, like it would be my go-to and it would always work, which is
yeah,
like crazy. But there are things to do that. Like if you have, I can
yeah,
show you guys if you want in terms of ChatGPT how to personalize it to you, like, and then how you
yeah.
can add projects to it. So you can add your own projects to it so that those projects are also personalized to the person or to whatever the goal of that project is. And
Mm.
I don't know whether you can do that in an unpaid version, but I have like the 20 quid a month version, and I can show you guys how to do that.
It'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see.
Mm. It's super easy as well. So
Yeah. I think, as I say, like it's probably more. It's a weird one because I come from the creative background. It can also feel like too much of a cheat code, and it can feel generic. But that's not. Again, I don't think it's a bad thing, and I'm not against it at all. Like I'm here for self-driving cars, robots, like being here, cooking my food, doing all. I'm just here for all of it. Like I love
mm,
tech and what it's capable of because really it's tech, but it's really just an extension of us.
yeah,
And I always find that lazy people make like the best decisions because they'll find a way to get stuff done like quicker without having to do anything.
yep,
Um, so the more that people, yeah, more people make things that will do things for us, and we've got tons of stuff in our house, from washing machines to kettles to flipping microwaves and stuff like this, which are all using the exact same method of convenience, making convenience for us. But yeah, for me, I just, there's something about discovering the idea. There's something satisfying about discovering the idea, which is something that I think it's not even that I need to let go of, but I also need to get used to that evolving, which I never thought it would, because it's not something. Not something you ever think.
I think like what will happen is that skill of like learning how to create something that hasn't already been created will become super niche, like really powerful basically. But what will happen before that is that there'll be a lull where everyone is doing the same thing because they're using AI to do it. Because
I think we're at the beginning of now.
And that's not necessarily, I guess it's not a bad thing, but you know, you still will need your creativeness, because as that will evolve, people will start to realize it, and then they'll start to be like, yeah, I don't want to listen to this guy because he uses ChatGPT or whatever. So and then that's where I guess your brain or method of thinking will come in. The issue, not issue, but the problem that I can see with that though is that how much brain power or thinking or time does that take to create that piece of information? I guess it's like quality over quantity almost, because if it takes say an hour to think of that thing and then another hour to create it, whereas if you use like a LLM or OpenAI or ChatGPT or whatever, and within those 2 hours you can create like 30 reels. So it's like, which one is more powerful? Or how do you as a content creator, as your job, like manage those two?
Yeah, I think there are certain nuances in people when you work with people that you can't you can't necessarily implement into a thing, and you can. And in a way, I know it feels like it takes 2 minutes for it to do something, but actually with all the admin that you have to put in to sometimes get the result, it kind of can work out the same. It's just that it will spit out more and obviously quicker in the moment. But when you have to go back and then refine it, it's like, okay, cool, let me go. I'm talking about specifically for what I do. And it's not that people don't use it. People use it all the time for videography and stuff like that. But there are certain, I'd say the nuances of like, oh yeah, but he wouldn't say that, or he wouldn't do that, or she wouldn't do that, or their business isn't, it's not as simple as that. And then you have to input saying, not, they wouldn't necessarily say that, but what can you say if they are the type of person who will blah 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 blah. Like I've got ChatGPT open here actually on my thing, and it's going in and doing all the admin and machine learning, I guess, which is not necessarily, again, it takes not necessarily, it can take around the same amount of time.
It can, and it initially, so like it's like with coding. For example, if you're coding something, like, or if you're automating something, initially it takes ages because you're figuring out the code and then you're trying to make it work and the testing and it's failing. But then once it's all done, like you're then able to scale it really quickly. And I think that is the process with like say ChatGPT, because I don't know if you need a thingy profile for this, but you can literally, so you can customize it as, I guess, detailed as you want. And with this background, you can give it, okay, this is like this is old, as in this is just me literally, but you can give this specific instructions like don't say this, do say that, act like this, always be hyper, always be sad, be straightforward or witty, you know, all of these things. So you can customize your GPT, so every time you ask it a question, it will respond with that kind of answer. And that is just, so that is just your general chat. But what you can also do is that down here, so you can create projects, and within those projects, you could also do the same thing. So there's this thing called instructions where you could give it. So here I've got my brand voice guide, which I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but so it's literally given this whole GPT or this whole section of my chat GPT, who I am, what I do, how to talk, kind of personality that I have. So every time I do content, it's basically this. So I will put it in here, and I will say like my reel today. Literally, this is it here. And
Mm.
what it's doing is that when it's spitting it out, it's spitting it out in my voice, I think. And it don't get me wrong, it does get it wrong, and I do need to go back and update this and all of that sort of stuff. But the good thing
Mm.
about that is that it's sort of continuously learning, I guess, because I'm making it continuously learn.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in that case you're able to I guess make it more yourself. But that is if you want it to, like ChatGPT or this base model of what we're looking at here is like the very, very, very beginning. This is like your, I don't know, in terms of like maths, this is like your squared paper, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I think learning or just understanding this stuff is kind of important because ChatGPT or OpenAI are releasing or have released some really cool, powerful stuff. And if you were to learn all of this initial like stuff, the more powerful stuff would be like, oh, that's really cool. Let's dive into it. For example, so ChatGPT tasks, so it doesn't work for here, but it works. So this, if you want it to do reminders, basically, you could say like,
Mm.
remind me to, I don't know. You could say like, give me content ideas today at 8 o'clock, and it will search the internet or do whatever you want it to do, and then give you 10 content ideas every day at 8 o'clock if you wanted to do that. And for you to do
Okay.
that, it's saying like, give me 10 content ideas for about OpenAI or about AI in general, and send it to me on an email every 8 o'clock every Tuesday or whatever it is.
Mm.
So there's that. There's also now it's releasing something called projects. I think it's called projects, where the next evolution of AI is agents, and an AI agent is almost an actual robot, I guess. So this is the thing that is going to actually think on its own and do stuff on its own. Currently, you've got AI that does stuff because you programmed it to tell it to do it.
Mm.
With automations, you say, pick up this thing and then do this thing and then send it to this person and then do this thing. With agents,
Okay.
it's like the agent has your, say it's like an email AI agent. It's connected to your email, it's connected to your phone, it's connected to your calendar, and it's connected to, I don't know, something else. And when an
Mm.
email comes in, you'll get, say, a message or a WhatsApp or something to say, hey, an email's come in, what do you want me to do with it? And then you can respond and say, oh, this email, it looks like it's this, can you set up a meeting? And what the agent does is that it listens to your response, and then it understands from that response that it needs to look at the calendar, and then needs to book a date, then it needs to book a thing, and then it needs to reply, and then it will come back and say, okay, I booked it at this date, do you want me to send this reply or just reply? And this is like
Mm.
the next
So,
evolution of what's happening. It's friggin' sick. It's cool.
yeah.
But it's also really scary because what will happen is that this will be the normal life. I don't think I think it's super, super soon, like, but it will be the normal life eventually. And when it is, like, where are we going to be? Like, what position are we going to be in? Are we going to like it? Are we going to be like, oh my gosh, what is this stuff? Is friggin' Arnold Schwarzenegger going to come down in a friggin' lightning bolt and start shooting people with a
Yeah.
shotgun? Like, it's,
We're
yeah,
not, I say we're not far off, but I think not from that bit, but from definitely from the rest of it. It's a lot more integrated than we think, and people are using it. And what's great about it is that they're succeeding with it and making good money from it. And like some of the things that they say, especially online, when people are like, dude, it's so easy, I don't even know anything about relationship advice, but I can print out a PDF and sell it for £10 to people to make things. And I'm like, yeah, there you go. Just go on ChatGPT, ask it for a thing. Don't even
yeah,
read it. Copy and paste it onto a thing. Put it on
yeah,
Etsy. Put it on this thing. Put it, and it's like, oh right. And they're like, yeah, I just made 70 grand last week, and it's like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's that
That
simple.
is
And I'm
scary.
happy for them. It's just weird. It's just
No, it's,
weird.
it's Yeah, and that is super scary. But
Yeah,
I guess utilizing the tools, and I don't condone
yeah,
it. I think that's pretty crap. But I don't know.
yeah.
Like, what do you do? Do you hate on them, or do you like either
Oh no, I
figure?
think it's great.
Or, yeah,
I think it's insane, but I do
Should be
think,
copying them.
yeah, exactly. But
yeah, but that it's true, right? No, but it's true
it's
because
it's
it's you
morally,
can't beat them. You join them. I think.
yeah, but it's morally doing that. Going, oh my god, could I just sell flipping water to I don't know, to
Fish.
anyone?
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much, and then expect them to drink it, and I'm like, oh my god, why are you giving me your money? Doesn't make any sense. But
yeah,
yeah, it's part of it. So yeah, I'm definitely all for it. I again, I love the idea of it. It's just great. Like, it's great that all these things are existing and they're speeding up. And because they're existing, they're also helping. It's helping itself to get smarter, to get quicker, to
yeah,
evolve more.
yep.
And by next year, we could be sitting having this conversation on, in February next year, and the stuff that it's capable of, I could imagine we now couldn't even comprehend. Like, what?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
everyone's got a virtual assistant in their phone that does this, that,
yeah.
and the next, and can
I'm
build a
literally
website.
working on creating that. So I'm working on creating an agent that every time something comes in, like to your WhatsApp, you will
Mm,
reply to it. So it'll be like an email. So you'll get a WhatsApp saying, you've received an email from blah, blah, blah. Would you like me to reply? Or would you like me to book an appointment? Or would you like me to do this? And then you respond to it. And let's say, I don't know, it's junk email. You're like, oh no, it's junk. And then it'll just delete it and unsubscribe. I'm literally working on like a bot
incredible.
that will do this stuff because my mailbox is shocking. It's got like
Oh man,
30,000 emails of crap that I don't even look at. And I
yeah,
just like, I kind of want to control it somehow, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, Stephanie says she gets anxiety looking at my inbox.
yeah,
I
yeah,
look at
man.
mine and I'm like,
Literally,
oh,
there's like 35,000 unread emails.
I'm
and it
not
just
doing
goes
too
up
bad
and up
compared
as
to you
well.
guys. I'm on a 2,431.
But there must have been one time where you like selected all of them and then hit read all or something like that.
Yeah,
See, I've never done that. I've always been like, I just need to go through them and then unsubscribe, so then it's done or whatever.
yeah,
But
And it just doesn't happen.
yeah, exactly. It just
yeah,
doesn't happen. And then you end up finding new people to subscribe to, and you're like,
yeah.
more emails and spam emails.
exactly.
Well, this is the other thing as well. Like, every website that I go on, and I hardly go on websites, but when you go on, it's like accept this, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever, or decline this, and sometimes I remember to decline. Other times I just click accept because it's like I'm here for something, I'm trying to buy something or whatever it is. And most of the
Yeah.
time it's like, by the way, we're just going to take your data and just give it to all of these companies. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, bro. I'm just trying to buy some lights. I'm trying to buy some trainers or whatever it is, and then I get more emails in my junk box and everything, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell's going on? And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't ever read what I'm accepting. So
Yeah.
cycle
And it
and
is
catch.
like the new real estate. Like data like that is the new real estate. I think it's what people
Yeah.
are. I have no idea how people would even set it, if I'm being honest. Like obviously when you guys sign up to the community, you're signing up and then getting your email addresses, right? I have no idea how I'm supposed to use that to make money. Like I wouldn't, but I'm just saying in general, I don't know how I'm supposed to use that to sell data. But
No, but if you get 70,000 people in this group, you better sell that.
how?
Data.
Like what would you? The only thing I'd do with it is repurpose it. Like as in if I knew there were people in it, let's say I wanted to shift into I don't know, plumbing AI or some crap, that I would like offer plumbing AI services to the 70,000 people. But I wouldn't take these 70,000 people and give it to someone else and be like, hey, pay. I just don't know how. Well, one, I don't know how to do it. And two, I
Yeah.
don't know, it seems unethical, but I must have signed something somewhere in GDPR to say I'm not allowed to do it.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I mean, when you go onto websites and it says cookies, select cookies or whatever, and then you're going through it and you're deselecting these things, but then when you come across some of them are like available to 37 vendors, and then the next one is like another 45 vendors, and you're like, what are they getting? What are they doing with my information?
No way.
And
See,
I
literally just accept. I always press manage. The minimum, like accept all that you need to accept or something like that. That's I always just press that one.
Sometimes it doesn't have that, so you have to physically go through it and then deselect some of them. And if you don't, then whatever you do on that website and you sign up to it, they got that information. You signed up to it. They can then send emails to you.
And then this is why I get freaking
and it's all
35,000
sales
emails. Like,
yeah.
literally.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Didn't you do a thing before when you were looking into? Was it you? Someone was looking into shopping or something like that, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you can look at everyone's keystrokes and
Yeah. I had
their
that.
mouse hovers over, and if it hovers over that for like more than 5 seconds or whatever it is, it's like then they know
Yeah.
that you're interested in that, and they'll push you that. It's all of that info.
But this was all an app.
Yeah.
So, but I guess in context, then I had a Shopify store, and it was selling, this was like years and years and years ago, and it was selling anime apparel. That was literally the name of it, anime apparel.
Yes.
And you could on the Shopify store you could add apps, and this app, it was called Orange something. This app mapped your keystrokes, so you're watching a user experience. You're literally watching their phone, obviously just on the app that you've got, like the Shopify app, and you're literally seeing where he's clicking. You're seeing these orange like little bulbs kind of like happen, and you're just seeing his user experience. And then, as Gus was saying, like it will spit out a report to say this person stayed on this page for X amount of time, so maybe we can push this page, like push them down that route. And it's very similar to what is happening now. But yeah, that is scary.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, there is an AI app that I have been using. It benefits Leo. It's called Create Art.
Okay.
Create Art. It literally you write in anything and it generates an image. So like he loves coloring in, he loves drawing and stuff. And like sometimes we can spend ages going through trying to find the right picture of a dinosaur doing the right thing, kind of. And it's like you just have to write it in this, but not search engine, it generates it. You type it in, like a T-Rex standing on top of a mountain with a microphone in his hand with a cape. You write that in, and it generates it, and it's insane. It's like.
Yeah.
It just creates it, and it's like he wants the ones that are obviously black and white so we can color it in and stuff. But man, it's nuts.
So what do you do with that afterwards? Would you print it, or does it come up?
I download it, I'll save it and then print it.
Oh, that's sick. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, there's so many apps,
and it does it in so many different styles. So you can have it in pencil. Like, so it's just black and white, pencil drawing, and you can color it in. You have all different types of filters and stuff like that. It's really good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Genius, really.
Yeah,
it's scary, really, because this is literally the start. I can't even say. I can't even fathom. Like, I can't even express how it's just the start. It's literally the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Scary, but kind of exciting and kind of cool. I don't know. Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty more to come. But I think like user cases like that Ben does is perfect for it, because it's not the scary thing that it sounds like it is. And I think because the term AI is so broad, you can also get confused into what like avenue you're talking about, because if you said, I generate AI pictures, or I use AI to do pictures, I'll go, oh right, but you can use it as an assistant, but then you can also use it in music, but then you can also use it to do other stuff. Yeah, exactly. And it's like there's so many different things where you go, oh, it's almost like they need to have their own lanes so that you can know what each one is or how broad it is, because it can pretty much do everything bar cook, but it can. There's a thing, I don't know if you guys have got a Thermomix. Or if you've heard of a Thermomix.
No.
It looks like a blender, but you can just put all of the ingredients in there and it will cook a whole meal. Like, it's a weird thing. You still have to do, so there's still some human interaction, like you have to take things out at certain times, but otherwise it just makes it. Yo uses it to make like risotto and all this kind of stuff.
What the heck?
And yeah, it's just
what? As in, he just puts everything in it and it makes it.
Yeah, and it's weird because I haven't fully seen it, but it looks like a blender. Funny enough,
Okay.
Mary Chris was trying to sell them at one point, but it looks like a
I
blender.
remember
And
that, actually.
yeah, and it's got like a iPad thing at the bottom with all the recipes. You just put in what you've put in there. Like for instance, you could leave it slow cooking dinner so that by the time you get in at 8 o'clock in the evening, dinner's like finally cooked from putting the stuff in the morning or whatever it is, and it'll just slow cook it throughout the day. I say it's weird, but it's like genius.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah, awesome.
But it looks really, it looks strange, but it's something to look at. I'll try and send a thing, but yeah.
Somehow it reminds
yeah,
me of like Back to the Future. You know when like he's putting all of the rubbish into like all the into
pretty much looks like that.
I was gonna say the microwave and the pizza, but
yeah. But yeah, we're getting to that stage where it is convenience now, and the only thing part about it which I dislike about all of it is it frees you up, but what are you doing with your free time? And that's down to you as an individual. It's whether you're actually looking at stuff. Most times it's like, hey man, but most times it's just like, hey yeah, I'm free now. I'll just play like Roblox or something. I don't know what people play, but or just scroll on Instagram, and then you're just like, well, all my work's done, so I can chill.
Yeah, that is definitely an issue, and also like the amount of stupidness that people are going to ask it, because you know like, the more that people feed it, you don't know what they're feeding it necessarily, and you don't know what's going to come out the other side. So
yeah,
it's kind of like a bit of a battle in that sense. But yeah, I absolutely agree. But cool, man. Like you guys have been awesome. Thank you for listening to my stuff. Was there like any questions or anything? Because I know I get that you're busy and Ben's evening as well. So is there anything?
I think there's this is more like a job thing. But I was listening to someone yesterday at the shoot, and they're basically talking about trying to automate a system with regards to their emails, who's showing up to watch the film and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, people who have sent tickets out and they don't show up should go to like the bottom of the list. And they were talking, and I was like, I might be able to sort something out. But I didn't speak to them about it. But yeah, something I'll speak to you about.
Yeah, we can chat offline. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can definitely chat about
automating systems.
Yeah. I'm literally so automation's like the thing that I've learned, but it's kind of moved on from automations to agents, and that's why like the automations I guess is like an external thing that does this, does that, whereas an agent will come in and do it on its own almost. So but yeah, I'd love to chat to you about it, but I know you have some stuff to do, so we won't hang around.
I'll hang around for a minute afterwards anyway.
Okay, Ben, was there anything that you wanted to ask or anything while I'm recording?
No, but I will go back over some of the stuff you were talking about earlier because I was preoccupied.
Okay.
But I'll go over it, and if I do have anything, I will ask.
That's very sweet of you. Of course, man. All right, I'm just gonna cancel the recording. I'm gonna stop recording. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Till next time. I don't know how to cancel it now. I don't cancel it.
Well, you screen recorded.
Yeah.